so quiet.
All right. Well, let's get this thing going, folks. I've got another decent study this week, but I've been working in the yard all week long, fixing the docks, fixing the house, things of that nature. So I didn't do a whole lot of deep studying this week. I've got to fix the roof next week, and then after that, we should get back into the studying of the law. But this week is a good study, in that it's going to build on top of the concepts that we've been getting to. Walking in the light, and the darkness comprehends it not. Discussion and results. In the first part of this study, I'm going to put the results of what I started last week, right? I started the protocols, the MMS protocols. Well, I'm here to tell you, out of all the things I've tried to take in my life, I have never had so many positive benefits from one solution in all my life. I don't know if the people out there can see it, but the psoriasis is almost completely faded. Y'all can see it. Y'all can see it here in the study group. I've gone my entire life with psoriasis, dealing with it in my ears, dealing with it in my hair, dealing with it all over the place in places that I won't even speak about here. But it's the most aggravating thing that you can have, is to itch constantly. That's why I do it on the studies. You'll see me scratch my head all the time. That's because I itch constantly. That itch is gone. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's a couple other added benefits to this solution. Because it's an oxidizer, that means it gives you more energy. I have been the most active I have been in probably 5-6 years at least. My mind's working clearer. Just things, concepts. I've been in constant communication. It's just like you're pushing the trash out your body. And when you cleanse the temple, folks, when you cleanse the temple and you stop putting junk in, you get junk out. You put good in, you get good out. It's just that simple. These are simple concepts. Firstly, I would like to give thanks to all the great replies and testimonies given by each and every one of the subscribers of their results from MMS. I'm going to put 4 or 5 of them up in the next couple slides, just to show you that not one reply last week spoke ill of the MMS. As a matter of fact, we had a bunch that were great. We even had one that I'm going to show y'all, that his mother got a herpes transfusion from a hospital. Herpes is gone. Hepatitis is gone, or whatever it is. Second, I would like to discuss the benefits I've seen in just 1 week of use. I'm up to 24 drops a day already. The only reason I'm up to 24 drops a day already is because my diet has been clean for the last 5 or 6 months already. And I'm not telling everybody else that's what they're gonna get to quickly. But I'm telling you, as you go, your body will tell you how much you can handle. Okay? And what happens is, as you start clearing your body out of the toxins, you have more energy. You're not sluggish. I don't even want coffee anymore. You know why? Because I'm not tired. I'm not tired. I've got plenty of energy. I don't need it. The CDS solution has been amazing. Go ahead, Betty.
How do you calm it down when you start to go to sleep?
Well, that's why I start mine early.
At a certain time.
I start mine first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
The first thing I do, I get up, I eat a small snack. And of course, that's another key thing throughout the day to make it work, right? You start eating small snacks during that 8-hour period that you eat it, that you're taking the solution, and then you eat your big meal in the afternoon. Or if you vice versa, you want to eat big in the morning and start at 12 in the afternoon and do it to 8 o'clock at night. Either way, it's only going to work as much as you put into it. And I have been completely devoted to this solution this whole week that I've been on it. And I'm going to tell you, the benefits have been just utterly amazing. So testimonials. Let's go through Yellowed Eye Canine. My mother is in her 70s. Has been using MMS more than a year and says she's only had positive results. I've been hesitant to try it. Why? Let's talk about this point right here real quick. Why are people hesitant to try it? Well, because the programming starts from yay high that the only people you're supposed to trust with health is what? Doctors.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how many people die from doctors, medical malpractice, or from their poison pills. People still believe that. Why? We've seen right here in this study group, what's the second leading cause of death in this country? Medical malpractice. Let's just talk about somebody close to me. My grandfather who died of cancer, and the 22 pills he took daily, or 21, whichever one was, destroyed his liver, destroyed his kidneys, and left the man in chronic pain. There was never an answer to anything to cure him. That's a huge issue, folks. And then they take you to the death panels and they load you with morphine and let you slip off into oblivion. There's something wrong here, folks, and we got to get to that point to where we bypass the indoctrination and the programming and understand they don't want you healthy. I've been hesitant to try it, but I'm hearing more and more good things about it, and I am willing to research it more deeply now. Thank you for the knowledge you share with all. And thanks also to Richie from Boston. Karen O'Kane. Wow, I'm ever happy to hear you talk about MMS. I started taking this a few months ago because of my cousin who took it, and this is how it's going to work. This is how grassroots works, right? I share it with you. You're going to go, once Betty's knee's fixed and she's got more energy and she doesn't have to go have them cut her knee wide open and give her a fake knee, guess what? She's going to share it with somebody else. I'm going to share it with everybody I can share it with. This is called grassroots. This is the exact thing I've been telling y'all about. The only way to fix this problem is what? Work from the inside out, fixing one person at a time and turning against the system. He is still, my cousin, he is still alive after doctors told him he had cancer. They do not understand why he is still here. So no, I take because I do not want my cancer to come back. Everyone get this product ASAP. It's amazing. Chris Johnston. Yes, brother, I take CDS, which is MMS. That's what, when you mix the two solutions together, you get chlorine dioxide. And I'll tell you what's funny, folks. Somebody noticed it in one of my EMF studies that I did a while back. I was talking about the health benefits of chlorine dioxide. Matter of fact, they brought this up in replies. Hey, you were talking about chlorine dioxide. I was, but I didn't know what it was. I knew that I had researched that it had health benefits, but I didn't know it was MMS. And it's funny how things work themselves back around. Let's skip down here, right here. I researched and made this because my mom had to get 28 surgeries when I was growing up. After one of her surgeries, a nurse gave her something in her IV that wasn't supposed to go into her IV, making her have to get a blood transfusion. And in the 90s, they didn't screen blood donors, blood as well. As today, she ended up getting hepatitis C from the blood transfusion. Now, all these things, now this is the number one problem with our society. Hepatitis C is a virus. The flu is a virus. All these, AIDS is virus. Pathogens, viruses, fungus, bacteria. Nothing we get from the doctor solves these. That's just something to think about as you move forward. Over the years, the Hep C compromised her liver, making her liver enzymes go through the roof. So I researched for a way to help my mom and came across MMS, then researched even further, finding CDS. And this gentleman is associated with Jim. Well, this cured her hepatitis C, which I found out not too long ago after she had her blood work done. I found out my time was not wasted. My research and what Jim Humble created is absolutely, truly amazing. I take CDS daily as well, and this is something that one of the next things that I'm going to start researching is this 30% food grade hydrogen peroxide. This is probably the sixth person who's brought it up. So anybody out there that has some information that wants to share it where I can go research and get good information, please pass it on about the food grade hydrogen peroxide. Make sure it's 3% hydrogen peroxide, and he goes ahead and tells you how to make the hydrogen peroxide, the 30% food grade. Brendan Edwards. I've used MMS. I nearly got myself killed a few times. The worst was I had an infection in my ear that went away. Then it went systematic. I ended up with lymph infection that literally exploded from my left hip lymph junction. Look at a physiology chart. It came from the bulb section. I'm pretty off the grid guy, kind of guy for years, but by most standards, I'm probably bonkers. That's that rejection of the world, right? Mm-hmm. That's that rejection of the world. I think he's not bonkers. I think he's totally sane. I'm pretty, by most standards, I'm pretty properly bonkers. Happy Meal with no apple pie. In this group here, maybe not. Anyway, I had no medical, little money, and I think the hospital system is a sham. It is a sham. Why is it a sham? They're torture chambers, folks. It's just that simple. You go in there, you bleed all over yourself, you poo all over yourself. They constantly needling and poking on you until you get to the point where you're so tired of them needling and prodding on you, you'd rather go die.
Yeah, like they did with my mother.
Like they did with my grandpa. He'd just rather go die.
Yeah.
Just leave me alone. Just don't touch me anymore. That's not medicine, folks. When it has a side effect chart longer than the benefits, that's what? That's poison. That's pharmakia. That's sorcery. All right. I had first tried MMS to try to correct a gut parasite from time living in the Amazon. Point being, I had already had some success with it. The lymph infection was terrible. In retrospect, I think I could have easily died or been permanently crippled. Short version is the MMS helped keep the infection from taking me out. And we'll go down here, the QI treatment. The MMS was crucial. It reduced spread of infection in the body. I've done completely crazy things and it's bailed me out a number of times. It will kill a cold and a flu, but you have to use the protocol, and that's the most important thing. Follow the protocol if you're going to do it. Do it to the best of your ability, and you will see results. I'm living testament of it. Now I understand because now I see it. Look, man, I have gone to doctors. I've taken baths in tar. I've put all kind of garbage on my skin to try to rid myself of this god-awful itching and this scratching, and can't wear a black shirt or you sit in a chair at somebody's office and you leave back behind yourself a pool of white flakes everywhere. Yeah. It's embarrassing. Not only that, it's just disgusting. But now I've got some relief and I'm proud of it. I'm happy with it. So that's the testimonies. And I wanted to do that at the beginning of the show because not everybody who watches the video watches to the end. So I put it in the front so people will see it. All right, let's start our Bible study. 1 John. All right, 1 John 1:5. This then is the message which we have heard of him and declare unto you that Yahuwah is light, and in him is no darkness at all. None. Not 1 ounce of darkness. It just can't be. If we say that we have fellowship with him and walk in darkness, we lie and do not the truth. But if we walk in the light as he is in the light, we have fellowship one with another. And the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach, his son, cleanses us from all sin. If we say that we have no sin, we deceive ourselves and the truth is not in us. We're going to get through all this today. Father of light, the light that is life. Psalm 27:1, a psalm of David. Yah is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? Yah is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? James 1:17. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above and cometh down from the Father of lights, with whom is no variableness. What does that variableness mean? The same today, yesterday, and when? Forever. It doesn't change, folks. Anybody that tells you the doctrine changes, that the commandments change, and everything change, they're a liar. Mm-hmm. They're a deceiver, whether they know it or not. I was a deceiver, didn't know it, was ignorant of the truth, because I hadn't come all the way to it yet. Of his own will begat he us with the word of truth, that we should be a kind of a first fruits of his creatures. Darkness cannot be light, nor can it comprehend it. Look, man, we go back 15 years in my life. There's no way I could be talking about the things I'm talking about today and comprehend it. It's impossible. So I do have sympathy, empathy, and compassion on those who are starting their journey. You can't start where we're at today. This is not your starting point. Your starting point is uncovering bits of truth as you go forward and coming to an understanding, rechanging your mind, completely changing it. Then Yahushua said unto them, Yet a little while is the light with you. Walk while you have the light, lest darkness come upon you. For he that walketh in darkness knoweth not whither he goeth. We're going to get into this, what that light is today. It's very clear what that light is. Psalm 36:9. For with thee is the fountain of life, and thy light shall we see light. O continue thy loving kindness unto them that know thee, and thy righteousness to the upright in heart. Let not the foot of pride come against me, and let not the hand of the wicked remove me. There are the workers of iniquity fallen. They are cast down and shall not be able to rise. That's a good psalm for anybody that wants to go read it. There's another good one I've got in here. Mercy has been here the entire time. Let's go back to 1 John. We're staying in the books of John today, just by the way. And what I'm doing is I'm giving pointers everywhere else to show you that John's not telling a story here. 1 John 1:9, if we confess our sins, he is faithful and just to forgive us our sins and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness. If we say that we have not sinned, we make him a liar and his word is not in us. Now you'll go to every church house in America today and they'll say that grace was from Jesus Christ forward and that was it. That was it. Everybody else before him, they didn't have propitiation for sins. They just did. Let me tell you something, folks. That's a lie. Why is it a lie? Because he's the same yesterday, today, and forever. If we can, so Job 33:27, he looketh upon men, and if any say, I have sinned and perverted that which was right, and it profited me not, he will deliver his soul from going into the pit, and his life shall be light. That's the very first book that we know of that's written, is the book of Job, folks. Hey, there it is, boom, right there. Listen. Why is the doctrine so messed up in the church house? The wolves are leading who astray? Feed my sheep. Feed them the truth. They will never stray from it. Psalm 51:2, wash me thoroughly from mine iniquity and cleanse me from my sin. For I acknowledge my transgressions and my sin is ever before me. Against thee only have I sinned and done this evil in thy sight, that thou mightest be justified when thou speakest and be clear when thou judgest. And there's 1,000 more like this. I'm just giving y'all a couple just to show you. I showed you a piece of it last week. This is the truth. Let me tell you something when somebody goes, we're in the age of grace, we're in the age of grace, we're in the age of grace, we're in the age of grace. Let me tell you something. No, the age of grace had to be before now, because you've got more opportunity to get knowledge about the Bible than any generation before you. And you think you got grace? Let's just use some common logic here. You got people living in the dark ages that never saw the book one time, never saw a computer one time, never were able to research anything by themselves. That's grace. You live in a time where you can go find anything you want. Better get off your butts. I don't fit here anymore. And that's what I mean by that. I don't fit in this world. I just don't. I don't like it. I don't like anything about it. I don't like the way we do people. I don't like the way people put things above mankind. I don't like any of it. 1 John 2:15, love not the world, and I don't. Neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, this is huge right here, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. What are those things? That's all selfish desires. Ego, selfishness, thinking only of yourself at all times. It's not of the Father, but it is of the what? World. And the world passeth away. You can't take none of it with you. None of it goes with you. Not a dime, not a drop, nothing. And the lust thereof. But he that doeth the will of Yah abideth forever. Matthew 12:50, for whosoever shall do the will of my Father which is in heaven, the same is my brother, my sister, and my mother. Now, I've had Christians arguing with me for the last 2 weeks about, hey, I'm a heretic, I'm blaspheming. But here's Yahushua HaMashiach, the Messiah, saying it right there. If you do the will of the Father, what are you to him? Well, If the world hates you, you know that it hated me before it hated you. That's John 15:18. John 15:19. If you were of the world would love his own. But because you are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. Can you have one foot in and one foot out? Can you ride the line? No. That's what these studies are about, to get to a point to where we don't ride the line anymore, and don't be afraid. Why? The world can't hurt you. Discussion. I have dug under every rock, researched every rabbit hole for years now, and not until the last few weeks have I ever reached any comfort whatsoever. And that just now happened, folks. Why? Because I finally came to the truth, the complete truth, the only truth that matters. That's what? If you love me, keep my what? Commandments. There's no straying from it anymore. There's no more guilt going sideways from it. I love Yahushua and I love Yah. And that's what I want to do. What's Yahushua mean? The Father saves. A new peace has entered into my soul and mind. That's just the truth. Never been here before. It's like almost being reborn for the second time. I remember the first time I ducked my head down and that feeling, what happened then. But I kept researching. Here we go. Here we are again, 5 years later. 5 years later. Well, no, Blaze was 4, so it's been 4 years. It's been 4 years later, and here I am again in another great place. It took 4 years to get here. Why does it take so long to get here, folks? Because there's so much garbage out there. While not being complacent or believing my journey is done, that's not what we're doing here. I'm not saying that. I'm not doing that now. I still got a lot of things to figure out. But I'm gonna relish in this moment for a minute and be happy. I've spent more time this last week in fervent prayer, giving glory and thanks to the Most High for leading me this way. Call unto me, and I will answer thee, and show thee great and mighty things that thou knowest not. And he has. And man, I'm so thankful. But I am at a much happier place. That place is doing the will of my Father. This transmutation. That's the transmutation of my mind. Well, they like to use the transmutation in a bad way, but he's used it in a good way. I've gone from this side, the world side, to the other side. Back to who? The light that gives us life. Leaving this world and going to the other side and back to the Father has been a blessing of immense proportions. Later we will discuss a few things that I'm looking into. No mixing of lies. I've told y'all this time and time again. You can't have a lie worth anything unless there's a little truth mixed in with it. Okay? But the whole truth can't have any lies. Not one. Not 1 ounce. That's the whole truth. 1 John 2:18, little children, it is the last time. And as you have heard, that Antichrist shall come. Well, when's John writing this? This is 1st century. This is right after Yahushua's death. Okay? Even now, there are many antichrists, whereby we know that it is the last time. They went out from us. That means they were with the apostles. But they were not of us, for if they had been of us, they would no doubt have continued with us. But they went out, that they might be made manifest. They were not all of us. But you have an unction from the Holy One, and you know all things. I have not written unto you because you know not the truth, but because you know it, and that no lie is of the truth. And you know we'll do this justification in our minds all the time, that it's okay to tell a white lie. It's not. It's never okay to tell a lie. And one of the things that I have had the hardest time doing is removing the white lie from my mouth. And what happens though when I don't tell lies? People go, you're a butthole. You're a jerk. You don't care about my feelings and all this other stuff. But what they don't understand is that it's something within me that I'm trying to rectify. 1 John 2:22. Who is a liar but he that denies that Yahushua is the Messiah? he is Antichrist that denieth the Father and the Son. Whosoever denieth the Son, the same hath not the Father. He that acknowledgeth the Son had the Father also. Let that therefore abide in you, which you have heard from the beginning. If that which you have heard from the beginning shall remain in you. What's the beginning? That's the law. That's the commandments. Go back and read the beginning of your Bible. You also shall continue in the Son and in the Father. And this is the promise that he hath promised us, even eternal life. These things have I written unto you concerning them that seduce you. But the anointing which you have received of him abideth in you. And you need not that any man teach you. But as the same anointing teacheth you of all things, and is truth, and is no lie, even as it hath taught you, you shall abide in him. And I'm going to read that again, because that was a loaded scripture. Let's slow it down. But the anointing which you have received of him abideth in you, and you need not that any man teach you, but as the same anointing teacheth you of all things, and is truth, and is no lie. And even as it hath taught you, you shall abide in him. Call unto me, and I will answer thee, and show thee great and mighty things that thou knowest not. What did that just say? That when you're living in him, you have the anointing. Let's make sure that's the truth. 1 John 3:1, behold, what manner of love the Father hath bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of God. Therefore the world knoweth us not, because it knew him not. Let me tell you something, folks. Let me get this through your head. When you come to this concept, when you come to this logos, to this understanding that you are made in the image of the Most High, your dominion, no man can rule you. No man has authority over you. When you understand that, you will no longer need for another man to teach you. And that's including me. You will seek out the truth on your own. Therefore the world knoweth us not, because it knew him not. Beloved, now are we the sons of God. And it doth not appear what we shall be, but we know that when we shall appear. We shall be like him, and for we shall see him as he is. But I said, Jeremiah, this is going to Jeremiah 3:19. Let's just go to the Old Testament, make sure that stuff's right that I'm talking about here. And then we're going to go to the New Testament. We're going to check. That's how we do it, right? Precept upon precept, making sure that we understand what we're reading. But I said, how shall I put thee among the children, and give thee a pleasant land, a goodly heritage of the host of nations? And I said, thou shalt call me Father, my Father, Abba Father, and shalt not turn away from me. So what does that mean? If you're calling him Father, what does that mean? That means you're the son of what? The Most High. A daughter of the Most High. So why do you give your dominion away? For John 1:12, but as many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of God, even to them that believe on his name, which were born not of blood, nor of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of man, but of Yah. Revelation 21:7, he that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his Yah, and he shall be my son. Look, folks, when you grasp this concept, life and light fills you. And why is that? Because now I know my permanent place. Where's my permanent place? Above all men and below who? The Most High. I won't worship another man. No way. Why? That's against the commandments to worship another man. That's a respecter of persons. You respect persons, you're transgressing the law. And if you transgress one little point, you've transgressed them what? All. Is it not written in your law? I said, you are God's. It's red letters, ain't it? pretty important, right? If he called them gods, unto whom the word of Yah came, and the scripture cannot be broken, say you of him whom the Father has sanctified and sent into the world, thou blasphemest, because I said, I am the Son of Yah. If I do not the works of my Father, believe me not. What's the works? The commandments. But if I do, thou you believe not me? Believe the works, that you may know and believe that the Father is in me and I in him. Can't just talk it, folks. You have to do it. And how does it get done? Indeed. That's the most important part, right? That's the hardest part to do in this world, is to not just talk it, but actually live it. Why? Because everything around you is built to stop you from doing it. 1 John 3:18, my little children, let us not love in word, neither in tongue, but in deed and in truth. And hereby we know that we are of the truth, and shall assure our hearts before him. For if our heart condemn us, Yah is greater than our heart, and knoweth all things. Beloved, if our heart condemn us not, then we have confidence toward God, Yah. And whatsoever we ask, we receive of him, because we keep his commandments and do those things that are pleasing in his sight. Not pleasing the world, not making everybody happy around you, not fitting in where you're not supposed to fit in. Holy, 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 separate, set apart, come out. And this is his commandment, that we should believe on the name of his Son, Yahushua HaMashiach, and love one another as he gave us commandment. And he that keepeth his commandments dwelleth in him, and he in him. And hereby we know that he abideth in us by the Spirit which he hath given us. What's that Spirit? It's the thing called life. It's the ghost within the machine. It's your stuff, your conscious mind operating at all times. It's the life that lights the light of men. Now you think they preach this in every church house in America, we'd be running around here like this? No. They don't want you to know the truth. Keep coming to me. Fill in my coffers. That's what they think. It's made a corporation. It's the same abomination. I'm going to tell you what would happen if Yahushua was still here. He'd be just like he was in the temple, whipping them out of there. Made the temple a den of thieves. Matthew 25:41, then shall he say also unto them on the left hand, depart from me, you cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. For I was a hungered, and you gave me no meat. I was thirsty, and you gave me no drink. I was a stranger, and you took me not in. Naked, and you clothed me not. Sick and in prison, and you visited me not. Then shall they also answer him, saying, Master, when saw we thee a hungered, or athirst, or a stranger, or naked, or sick, or in prison, and did not minister unto thee? Then shall he answer them, saying, Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as you did it not to one of the least of these, you did it not to me. And why is that? We're all equal. Every single person with life is what? A son of who? Most High. And these shall go away into everlasting punishment, but the righteous, what's righteousness defined by? The commandments. So it's start paying attention to the words you're reading. They have meaning. It's right there. I don't teach anything but what the book says. Greater is he that is in me. 1 John 4:1, Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits, whether they are of Yah, because many false prophets are gone out into the world. Now he's writing this in 1st century. Do you understand that? We read this stuff and don't understand when it was written. This was years, just a few years after Yahushua's been killed. There's already many. It's 2,000 years later, folks. Hereby know you the Spirit of Yah. Every spirit that confesseth that Yahushua Messiah is come in the flashes of God. Flash. The key word there, flash. Pay attention, folks. When he come back with Thomas, what did he do? Put your fingers through. And every spirit that confesseth not that Yahushua is come in the flesh is not of Yah. And this is the spirit of Antichrist, whereof you have heard that it should come. And even now already it is in the world. You are of Yah, little children, and have overcome them, because greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. And that's the truth. Because when you come to this concept and logos, you understand that nobody can really rule you. And when you get there, then you go, then why am I being ruled? They are of the world, therefore they speak of the world, and the world heareth them. John 14:15. We read this a couple weeks ago. If you and this, look, man, I don't know how many times this one scripture has been in my head for the last month. You know, I've got people in my replies that saying I'm a heretic and everything else. But no, this is the one scripture that keeps coming to my head. No, I do love him. I love Yahushua and I love Yah. I love him so much that I'm going to do what he asks. I'm not going to do it by mouth. I'm going to do it by what? Indeed. If you love me, keep my commandments. And I will pray that the Father, this is one of the beautiful things, man. He's praying for you. And he shall give you another comforter, that he may abide with you forever, even the Spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive, because it seeth him not, neither knoweth him. But you know him, for he dwelleth with you, and shall be in you. In you. I will not leave you comfortless. I will come to you. Yet a little while, and the world seeth me no more, but you see me, because I live, you shall live also. At that day you shall know that I am in my Father, and you in me, and I in you. See, these concepts are right there, folks. You have to start paying attention. He that hath my commandments and keepeth them, he it is that loveth me. And he that loveth me shall be loved of my Father, and I will love him, and will manifest myself to him. Judas saith unto him, not Iscariot, Master, how is it that thou wilt manifest thyself unto us, and not unto the world? Yahushua answered and said unto him, if a man love me, he will keep my words, and my Father will love him, and we will come unto him, and make our abode with him. Where's that abode? Where's that kingdom of heaven? Where's that temple? Just that simple, folks. It isn't hard. You can take all the religion in the world. You can ball it up, set it on fire, do whatever you want with it, because religion about as useless as teats on a boar hog. Just useless. People spend their entire lives wasting their time on religion. 1 John 5:1, whosoever believeth that Yahushua is the Christ is born of Yah, and everyone that loveth him that begat loveth him also that is begotten of him. Begotten, procreated. That's what the word means, procreated, begotten of. That's why you got begat. So-and-so begat. By this we know that we love the children of Yah, when we love Yah and keep his commandments. So look, John's right on point here. He's keeping right in line with Yahushua, right? That's what we want to do. Because guess what my rock, my solid foundation is? It's the commandments, and it's what? Yahushua. If it lines up with Yahushua and what he's saying, guess what? It's solid. I don't care what else is in there. As long as it lines up to what Yahushua said himself, that's my rock. And from there, I dispel all lies and only accept the truth. And only the truth will suffice for me. For this is the love of Yah, that we keep his commandments. And his commandments are not grievous. No, I tell you what's grievous. I tell you what's grievous. Saving up your money all year long and going to do a Christmas party and blowing through all your savings and going, man, they didn't really like that. Well, what kind of fun is that? Being pressured into making all those decisions on things. Most of the time, the kids are out in the yard playing with a cardboard box longer than they are the toy. John 15:9, as the Father hath loved me, so have I loved you. Continue you in my love. John 15:10, if you keep my commandments, you shall abide in my love, even as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. What was so special about Yahushua? He was the fulfillment of the what? The law, the only one ever to do it, never sinned. These things have I spoken unto you, that my joy might remain in you, and that your joy might be full. And this is the thing, folks. When you have the joy, you're not depressed anymore. You're not worried about garbage. The joy is within you every day. The light that lights the life of men is with you from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep at night. It cannot be taken from you. No man can take it. What did Jesus say? No man can pluck them out of my hand. They can't. Can't be plucked. You're his now. Start acting like it. Once you let go of religion, this concept is easy to accept. 1 John 5:6, this is he that came by water and blood, even Yahushua, not by water only, but by water and blood. And it is the Spirit that beareth witness, because the Spirit is truth. For there are three that bear record in heaven, the Father, the Word, and the Holy Ghost. And these three are what? One. One. Where's your Trinity doctrine come from? And look, folks, I'm just showing you time and time again. Where are these doctrines of devils coming from? This is important, man. It's important to get this stuff right. It's so important to me that I spend my time putting these studies together to show you the truth. And there are three that bear witness on earth, the Spirit, the water, and the blood. And these three agree in one. What's the Spirit, the water, and the blood? That's you. Your blood, your water, your spirit, that's the ghost inside the machine, that's you. They got to be in agreement as one. You're either in the light or you're in the what? Darkness. You can't ride both lines. It's impossible. He's going to spew you right out of his mouth. If we receive the witness of men, the witness of Yah is greater, for this is the witness of Yah, which he hath testified of his Son. And I'm sorry for getting a little preachy today, folks, but look, these concepts, we got to get them through our heads. And once we get these concepts through our heads, we can move on into more truth. I want this study group to get it. Not the people out there, y'all. I want y'all to get it. This is important. We've got things coming up, folks, that I'm going to start revealing, and it's going to be steps outside of this system. If you're not ready to walk away and be in Yah's commandments, you're not going to do it. And trust in Him. Don't trust in Brandon. I don't know anything. So this is where we're going. I want to read this to you. And that was the end of the study on the scriptures, okay? Now we're going to go to some of the things about man's law. To be governed is to be watched, inspected, spied upon, directed, law-driven, numbered, regulated, enrolled, indoctrinated, preached at, controlled, checked, estimated, valued, censored, commanded by creatures who have neither the right nor the wisdom nor the virtue to do so. To be governed is to be at every operation, at every transaction, noted, registered, counted, taxed, stamped, measured, numbered, assessed, licensed, authorized, admonished, prevented, forbidden, reformed, corrected, and punished. It is under pretext of public utility. That public utility, we're going to get into what the straw man is, what the straw man is, homo is. Y'all know about this already. That's your all capital letters, text. I want every single one of you that's got a personal check today, I want you to go look at that personal check, and down there where you sign that check, I want you to really take a close look at what you think is a line, but isn't. It's got MP right there. That means micro print. What you'll pay attention to is that's the authorized signature repeated on that line. What that means, you are authorizing yourself in the place of that all capital letters at the top of your check, the straw man. We'll get into that at a later date and time, and I'll explain that. And in the name of the general interest, to be placed under contribution, drilled, fleeced, exploited, monopolized, extorted from, squeezed, hoaxed, robbed, then at the slightest resistance, the first word of complaint, to be repressed, fined, vilified, harassed, hunted down, abused, clubbed, disarmed, bound, choked, imprisoned, judged, condemned, shot, deported, sacrificed, sold, betrayed, and to crown all, mocked, ridiculed, derided, outraged, dishonored. That is government. That is its justice. That is its morality. And that's exactly what's going to happen to each and every single one of us.
Was that mine? And I don't set it. It just comes on. No, it wasn't set for today.
Well, here it is right here. I put it in here. On checks, the signature line is typically printed with this micro print. That's the micro print. That's what the MP means. But instead of printing an actual line, which is exactly what it looks like to you, a series of words are printed where you sign your name. The words probably say authorized security. So you're authorizing the straw man. This is Nelson Rockefeller. The secret to success is to own nothing, but control everything. What does that mean? It goes back into all the other things we've talked about. Yeah. If they know the system and we don't, who's at a severe disadvantage? We are.
Yeah.
We are. Because we don't know the system. We're going to get into this more, and I'm going to break it down a little bit further for everybody in here to actually grasp it and grasp the concept as we start moving on, and how important it is to understand the lie that is the system that we're in. But first, we're going to revel in our newfound happiness in finding the truth. Edward Mandelhouse, this was Franklin Delano Roosevelt's head banker. I've read this to y'all before. Very soon, this is before 1933, right before they initiated the birth certificate and the Social Security number. Hey folks, you think a number is you? They number cattle. They numbered us too. So what's that make you? Well, he's going to say it. Very soon, every American will be required to register their biological property in a national system designed to keep track of the people, and that will operate under the ancient system of pledging. It comes straight out of Babylon, folks, the Hammurabi codes. By such methodology, we can compel people to submit to our agenda, which will affect our security as a chargeback for our fiat paper currency. What's the fiat? That's the dollar that has no value. You think it has value. It's just paper, folks. It's just paper. Every American will be forced to register or suffer not being able to work and earn a living. There it is. Mm-hmm. They will be our chattel. What's chattel? Cows. Yeah. And we will hold the security interest over them forever by operation of the law merchant under the scheme of secured transactions. I told you, you've been practicing the occult your whole life. You're passing around the dead presidents as a medium of exchange. Touch not the graven image. Right? This is important. They knew what they were doing. Mm-hmm. Americans, by unknowingly or unwittingly delivering the bills of lading to us, will be rendered bankrupt and insolvent. forever to remain economic slaves through taxation secured by their pledges. Who does the pledges? Well, you do. You sign on the X. You take the registry. And this is how we do it. Our ignorance passes it on to the next generation, right? Sure does. They will be stripped of their rights and given a commercial value designed to make us a profit, and they will be none the wiser. For not one man in a million could ever figure our plans, and if by accident one or two would figure it out, we have in our arsenal plausible deniability. What arrogance. After all, this is the only logical way to fund government, by floating liens and debt to the registrants in the form of benefits and privileges. I don't want their benefits or their privileges anymore. This will inevitably reap to us huge profits beyond our wildest expectations and leave every American a contributor to this fraud, which we will call social insurance. Without realizing it, every American will insure for us any loss we may incur, and in this manner, every American will unknowingly be our servant, however begrudgingly. The people will become helpless and without any hope for their redemption, and will employ the high office of the president of our dummy corporation to foment this plot against America. Now, how does that happen, folks? Let me tell you exactly how it happens. The left and the right, they get up there and they rah-rah about this, rah-rah about this. They pass another act that puts more taxation laws on the public. And people go, well, we got to have that. We got to have that. Of course we need that. You're signing the pledge to further enslave you. Folks, it's just ludicrous once you get to the concept of it, that what happens to us. Blessings to you and yours. The fraud of this government is the fraud of your straw man, your all caps dog Latin, Latin of the illiterate, which is your fictitious entity used as your fiction of law. You authorize this by signing on the line. I'm not saying it's right or an agreement, but this is the reality that we live in, and we're going to go get further into this reality as we move forward. Anyone out there with links to things that they think are important, please share, and I will do my best to get to it. Any more MMS testimonials, please put them on my channel. They help. And I'll try to pin the best one this week. People out there that are sick, and we need to do our best to get them good health. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen, folks. People that are really sick and they get on something like that, it's going to open their eyes up, because this has been around for 160 years. And we need people's eyes open. Have a great week, folks. Love from your brother Brandon. Let your word not return unto thee void, but let it accomplish that which you please and prosper in the thing where you sent it. Yes, sir.